Firstly, you're in a job, and you're trying to get that job done. And what I tried to start off with, and this is where I came in, I said, how many days have you got? I mean, how many days have you got to implement a strategy in which you avoid something like Deepwater Horizon? That is critically important to me, is to be able to say, you've got limited time to do this thing. And emphasized here that there's a pattern. There's a pattern, and you see it whether we could have looked, we looked at HP, but we could have looked at F.W. de Klerk in South Africa. How many days did it take him to get Nelson Mandela out of prison, get him onto the podium, and get him elected? 1,000 days. Gorbachev changed Russia around. That was a major disaster for most Russians. 1,000 days. You know, there's a pattern. You look in the Bible, for goodness sakes, there's 1,000 days. So you've got to realize you have limited time to do these things. And you need to divide your time up very carefully. So there are some things need to be done at the beginning, and before you can move on to the next thing. And what you find with all of these issues is people start to confuse them. They get muddled. They don't have the right team. They don't articulate the strategy. They have difficulty with the structure, and then the clock has ticked on, and they're in trouble, right? So that seems to be critically important, I think, to me. After that, you can see the kinds of things that Tony was talking about. It's all right to have a plan, but what assumptions have you made? Have you become complacent about those assumptions? Have you assumed these things would always work? And if they don't work, what's your plan for disaster? What is your plan B? And how do you react, when you have that plan B? And the learning point, as you can see, of this case is that very good people risk their lives. And if you don't have that plan B, a lot of things can go wrong. As part of that, you also saw Tony had the wrong structure. So he pushed down too much decision-making to the floor. So when people made the call, they made the wrong call, it cost them. So time is of the essence. Team, have I got the right skills? Processes and structure, have I got them in place to bring about a necessary change? And I think what we've heard here, and thank you very much, Chris and Keith, small companies don't have a lot of time to do this stuff. You have a startup, you get in underway, you're merely getting some traction for the business, but there is a point at which you need to say, hold it, we need to work on this thing now. Let's do something. Do something in the back of a cigarette box is better than doing nothing, right? And I think I started off with Tsipras and Varoufakis and showed that you can take over a huge organization, you can take over a country, and you don't have a plan for disaster. And that is a disaster. But as your company grows, and you need to come back and say, what have we done about these issues? They are important to us. And I think I would like to close on that. Thank you very much.